moment, and I remember it. Not just the fall, but what came after. I stayed close to him, closer than most, not by rank, but by understanding. During the day, he watched. He moved through this world without reacting, taking everything in, learning it, seeing what others couldn't. Nothing distracted him. Once something held his attention, and at night, when everything grew quiet, he would speak. Not often. Only when something had settled. Only when he had seen enough, and what he shared was never just what happened. It was what it meant, what it could become. And I listened, because I understood what he was becoming in those moments would not stay contained to him. It never does. Before anything existed here, there was something else, a place without weight, without time, without pain, only light, and in that light, he stood, still, aware, watching. Nothing moved, nothing needed to. Everything was exactly as it should be, and yet, something shifted, not around him, but within the moment itself. No sound, no warning, just a change. The light began to fade, not all at once, but slowly, like something being taken away, piece by piece, and he did not resist. He did not reach for it. He simply let go and began to descend, not falling, not forced, just moving away from what was into what was not yet understood. The light thinned behind him. The space ahead deepened, and for the first time, there was distance, there was direction, there was something new. The air formed around him, pressure, movement, something pushing back as he passed through it. Clouds, wind, weight, and the descent became real, closer, closer, until the ground rose to meet him, and everything changed. And then, contact. His feet touched the earth, and for the first time, he felt it. Cold, sharp, real. The ground shifted beneath him, soft in places, giving way, and then pushing back. His weight pressed into it, and it responded. Something moved between his fingers, his toes pressing into the soil, small bodies slipping through the cracks, worms alive and mixed within it, resistance, sharp edges pressing into him, pebbles scratching against skin that had never known resistance, pain and sensation at the same time. And it did not push him away, it held him there. The air filled his lungs, warm, heavy, carrying something unfamiliar, a scent, soft, unexpected, the smell of bread, and for a moment, everything slowed, because this world was not perfect. It was not still, it was not untouched, it was alive, and that made it real. And when he lifted his gaze, they were there, watching him, the same way he was now watching them. And in that moment, something began. Before anything changes, there is nothing wrong. The fire burns low in the center of the room. Light moves across the stone walls, soft, uneven, alive. The children move freely, laughing, touching everything without thinking, pulling at moments that feel simple. The man answers them without hesitation, steady, grounded, certain in his place. His hands move without pause. Used to the rhythm of this life, the woman watches it all, not as something fragile, but as something complete. She does not question it, because there is nothing to question. Everything fits, everything holds. This is how it has always been, and in that stillness, there is peace, not perfect, but whole. And that is what makes what comes next so difficult to see. The way they speak without thinking, the way they trust without question, the way they move through each other, as if nothing could ever break, and beneath all of it, he sees something else, something smaller, hidden, but there. The man carries weight, responsibility, expectation, and beneath that, fatigue, not visible, but present. It sits just behind his actions, just beneath his certainty, and where something carries weight, it shifts, and where it shifts, there is space, And where there is space, something can enter. And I saw it, the moment he saw it, not in what he did, but in how his focus changed. Still, precise, unmoving, locked onto something that had always been there, but had never been noticed until now. I now realize that Lucifer was able to shape what these humans hear inside their minds. Slightly, a pause that does not belong, a break in something that has always flowed without effort, and in that pause, his mind opens, not fully, not enough to notice, just enough. And the thought begins, not placed, not forced, but formed, as if it had always been waiting. We should get out more. Simple, reasonable, easy to accept. Take the kids. Show them something real. It feels right. It feels responsible. It feels like something he should have already done. And because it feels that way, he does not question it. He accepts it. And the moment he accepts it, it becomes his. The hesitation disappears, replaced by certainty. He looks at them again. But now, something has shifted. Not in what he sees. The next morning comes quietly. Nothing feels different. Nothing appears out of place. And that is why it works. He leaves. The children follow his excitement, pulled forward by something they do not question, and the door closes behind them. And what remains is stillness, not empty, not silent, but different. She feels it before she understands it. A pause in her movement, a moment where something does not settle. She stands longer than she should, listening, not for sound, but for something she cannot name. And then, it comes. What was that look? Not clear, not strong, just enough to exist. And it stays. She does not reject it, because there is nothing to reject. It feels like her own thought, so she lets it remain. And in letting it remain, it grows. Her mind begins to search, replaying moments, looking for something that was not there before. The way he spoke, the way he paused, the way something felt different. And now, those moments shift, they change. They begin to carry meaning because she believes they do. And once she believes it, it becomes real. Not in truth, but in feeling, and that is enough. The door opens. He returns. Nothing has changed. And yet, everything feels different. He steps inside. The air feels heavier. Not enough to question, but enough to notice. She looks at him the same way she always has. And yet, it is not the same. There is something behind it now. Something searching, something uncertain. He feels it, but he does not understand it. So he ignores it and moves forward. How was it? Her voice is calm, measured, careful. It sounds normal, but it does not feel normal. It feels watched. It was good. His answer comes quickly, too quickly, and even he feels it, but he does not know why, so he lets it pass. But she does not, because now she is listening differently, not to what he says, but to how he says it. And once that begins, it does not stop. A pause, a look, a shift in tone. Each one becomes something more, something heavier, something that was never there before. And the more they speak, the less they understand each other. Not because anything changed, but because everything did, inside it. And it does not stop there. It never does. Because what begins in one place does not remain contained. It moves, not through force, not through command, but through repetition. The same moment, in different forms, different homes, different people. The same pattern, a thought that feels real, a feeling that is not questioned, a shift that no one can explain. And slowly, what was once whole begins to separate, not all at once, not in ways that can be seen, but in the space between people, in the silence between words, in the way something familiar begins to feel distant, and it spreads from one home to another, until no one remembers when it started. Only that something is no longer the same. And the truth is, nothing needed to happen, no force, no command, no moment anyone could point to, just a thought, a feeling, a shift, and by the time you notice it, it is already there. So if you have ever felt that moment that did not feel like yours, I want you to tell me, not just to watch, but to speak, because this story is not finished, and I am building it with you. So if you are still here, leave an amen in the comments, because doubt does not just exist in you. I feel it too. And maybe that is where this really begins.